Skydivers, I'm back, and to give you an idea of what happened and why I went missing, let me remind you that scene from 3 years ago. Well, oops. You remember it? Come on. Yep. Come on. Not again. What's up, Skydivers? It's Catherine from Skydive Vibes, and I'm super excited to be coming to you finally with a video after a little break of a couple of months. So yes, as you saw in the intro, life has been pretty busy lately for me. I'm now pregnant and I'm waiting for baby number 2. Life has been pretty exhausting lately because of that, but also busy at the day job, taking care of the toddler and then being pregnant. I just decided to take a short break of doing videos because I was kind of overwhelmed by everything, but I think it's better for me to take a short break and come back stronger in the end. And so with this video, I wanted to share with you what I've been thinking lately about what it means to be a skydiver. And I was thinking about the core elements that may help any skydivers to become better and safer in their progression and in their sport of enjoying the sky. So I decided to kind of share those with you and open the discussion around them. So let's kick things off with number 1, which is being a safe skydiver is being a responsible one. And that is a concept that my DZO actually brought to us during a safety day about, I think it was last year, and he came to us saying, you guys gotta be responsible for your safety, your own equipment, but also your own decision and actions. For example, it's not the fault of the pilot if you land off, because as a skydiver, you have the full responsibility to make sure that you understand the exit spot of that jump, that you understand the winds before going up in the plane, that you actually double check where you are before exiting the plane. So all those elements, if you're solely rely on the pilot and you end up landing off, it's not his fault. It's your fault because you gotta be responsible as a skydiver of what you do. That's how you're gonna be safer. Another example may be, I had to do a cutaway. It's the fault of my packer. No, it's not. Take full responsibility. You are the one who gave your pack to the packer. Did you double check his packing? Did you double check everything? Do your gear check? Was it an equipment failure? That is your responsibility to make sure your equipment is on point at every jump. How was your body position? It's important to always consider that it starts by you and that it ends by you. The sport is you with all the risk that goes around it, all the people around you, all the elements, the gear and everything. Take full charge of your sport, and that is how you're gonna be more aware, safer, and make the sport overall safer for you and others around. So I really thought that this concept of being a responsible skydiver is very, very important, and we really need to have that in mind at every step of our jumps. Now, let me know in the comments below, what do you think about that? Being a responsible skydiver will make you a safer skydiver and a better one in the end as well. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Now, point number 2, don't compare yourself to others. That applies to also so many other spheres of your life. And I know when we're new in the sport, we're just out of our AFF or we just got our A license and we look at those sky gods with their C license, 400 jumps, and they are shredding in the sky and we're crazy jealous of them. Well, be careful about that. You can get inspired by that level and like have that level as a goal in your mind, but don't directly compare your own skills at the moment to theirs. Because the sport of skydiving has a lot of steps. You gotta progress at your own pace. There's a lot of skills to develop, a lot of knowledge to understand. So don't try to go too fast or to compare yourself to the ones that have been in the sport for many jumps, many years, because you'll end up discouraging yourself in the end. And something we don't want to happen is to have you lose your passion for the sport. So one tip I have for you, make sure you compare yourself to only you. Compare yourself to your skills a season ago. Compare yourself to the day before when you did that last jump. Compare yourself jump to jump so that you can see your progression. Even though you have little improvement, that's great news. That's a win to celebrate, to keep you motivated to continue your progression. It's so important. And it's also for your own safety, because if you're trying to rush your progression, trying too fast new things without you being ready, having the bases in place, well, you can end up in jumps that are not at your level. It's dangerous for you, but it's also dangerous for others around you. So really make sure that you don't compare yourself to others and take your time to do your own progression. Compare yourself to you. And what about you? Did you ever get discouraged by looking and comparing yourself to more experienced skydivers? Let me know in the comments what is your experience with that. But I know even me, sometimes I had to go through that. Like, I've been in the sport for 8 years now, and I'm way not at the level of being a sky goddess or being able to work full-time in the sport. And the reason is mostly because my life is not like the life of those other people. I've seen newcomers in the sport doing 500 jumps in their first season, becoming a videographer and then a tandem instructor in like 2 years. And I've been 8 years in the sport and I have barely 400 jumps. Like, you should not compare yourself to others. Like, I have challenges in my own life. At first it was day job, not enough money. Now it's more family. With one kid, it was kind of harsh. Now I'll have 2 kids. I'll have to fight through to get at least a couple of jumps every season. But still, I'll keep enjoying my sport because I've stopped comparing myself to the ones who can work full-time in the sport every season. Now, point number 3, be coachable. I know you've heard that before, but I'm repeating it. It's so important for you to become a better and safer skydiver, to be wide open to the advices, the knowledge that you can find on the drop zone from other more experienced skydivers. Be coachable. When your instructor or your coach is giving you advice, tips and tricks, try them. Try to understand what they are saying. It's very important to stay open because that's how you're gonna progress. That's how you'll also become safer. And I mean, being coachable is not only for the newcomers. It's not only when you're learning the basis. You'll also have to be coachable when you'll be more advanced and more experienced in the sport, because there's always new things to learn, and there's even new improvements in the sport that changes the basis. So you gotta always be aware that the basis that you've learned and that you've been applying for years may now have switched or changed. Those changes were made for a reason, a safety reason most of the time. So you gotta be coachable about that, even though you are very experienced. So that's my point. We often hear people that you gotta be coachable because you gotta learn the skills first, but you also have to stay coachable along the full progression. It's a never-ending game, really, of being coachable and learning and progressing in the sport. Last but not least, the 4th point I wanted to talk to you, it's more an observation about our amazing sport. I've always been amazed by the whole community of skydivers, which is really worldwide, meaning that wherever you go in the world, the concepts, the basis of skydiving remains the same. And so the standards are pretty much the same everywhere you go. So if you got to travel and you have, of course, the right rating, the right licenses and stuff, well, you end up being able to jump and even communicate at another drop zone which is even not even in your country and not even your own language, because everyone understands the same skydiving standards, like the sport remains the same. So it's just an observation about the amazing sport that we have, that wherever we are in the world, and I'm seeing a lot of it because with Skydive Vibes we are reaching people, skydivers from all over the world, and it all comes down to the same principle, the same basis in our sports. So I just really wanted to share that observation with you, and so that you can still understand that our sport is so amazing. And even though I won't get to jump much this season, you know why? Well, still I'll be glad to see all those people around the world jumping and sharing thoughts and knowledge about the same sport that we enjoy in whatever language, whatever nationality. That's just crazy to me. Alright, so those were the elements I wanted to share with you and discuss, having a little chat with you. If you have any other comments or you would like to discuss another topic in a future video, make sure to write them in the comments below. I'll be glad to finally interact a little bit more with you there. And also stay tuned for my other videos that are coming up. On that, keep jumping, stay safe, and blue skies.